I just realized today that this was my favorite pick me in all the vampire love stories, whatever. Because this is like the cool girl pick me. Because I always judged women who were into this series, and I don't really like. I haven't been into like rom coms ever. So this to me, and I was also maybe too old when this came out. So, but this to me, I was always like, there's something weird about this. Like, is it like he's literally like, doesn't she have to like die kind of to be with this dude? I don't get it. Like, why would you get a vampire or a werewolf? So it kind of never made sense to me. So I thought I didn't fall for it, but I wanted to be her so bad. The one who's hanging out with all the vampires and is, maybe even looking after a little baby vampire, half vampire, but never fully gets harmed by them or goes full bad, but gets to just hang out with all dudes who are doing terrible things all the time and be safe. Because even if you are not forking one of the vampires, you get to hang out with them. And I was her. Now, I want to thank my mutual, Sedona. This is her full name, who tagged me in her video about Ozzy and Sharon, and then did a follow-up video that I saw this morning, and I was like, oh my God. Like, between her and Therese Lee talking about this, I finally get it. Like, the dots are connected that the bad boy, and I knew this, but I couldn't put into it. I'm going to get it wrong because she said it much better than I'm about to. But basically, the vampire movies are the perfect example of the predator, having consent. Rather than just coming after you and preying on you, you are agreeing to it. You're consenting to this. How empowering. Like, what she says is that vampire stuff is so appealing to us because it's this idea that, because we are all like, sleeping with men is literally sleeping with like the predator. All right, we are prey, they're the predator. Now maybe they end up never hurting us and they're great, and it can happen. But chances are they will hurt us. They'll either grape us, unalive us, financially abuse us, or or exploit us. And so getting with men is literally like dating a predator. But the thing about vampire movies, what she pointed out, is that like, what is the ideal scenario where we're the ultimate like pick me? We had the ultimate goal is to be the special one who he doesn't want to devour. Like, he could, he literally like goes after you, but you're the one that he will not touch. He will not harm. I mean, he kind of will. He kind of will. He will a lot, but you're special. Right? And I've been criticizing this forking movie for years. I hate this movie so much. This guy sucks. Everything about him sucks. Even the reason why he became a beast is because he was an entitled prick and he pissed off the wrong woman. But anyway, she is captive. She is literally a hostage because her dad is a coward and was like, take her. And then he's all throwing tables. All of the inanimate objects are terrified of him. And yet, this is a beautiful love story because she changes this beast, this predator, into a great dude. Right? Like, that is the ultimate win for a woman. And whether it is, this or, of course, doing this in the pool with my best friends, like, dating the bad boy, even though, like, you're a teenager, but okay, help his dance partner get in the boat. Okay. This guy, he's talking crap about you, but okay, you became one of them, but he won't hurt you. Or this one. You know how much I hate this. If you've not seen, I need to talk about this movie again. The word, like, not only is he the bad boy, he's a hobo. He's a homosexual who just fights with her all the time and gets her to go on a date with him because he threatens unaliving himself on a Ferris wheel. But anyway, I've talked about this movie so, but they're all versions of this, and this is like maybe the height of that. Of like, it's okay. You'll find one that you'll be the exception. And then you have one. You have one patriarch. You can find one of these men who just literally would harm everyone else but you have won. What a noble cause. Other than the literal mother, she is the only woman in this whole movie. And she's so cool and she's so pretty. And then she gets the guy in the end. And like, they never really hurt her. And then she's also maternal because she hangs out with the little baby vampire and like saves him. But let me tell you why this blew my mind. Because you could possibly never date men and still be pick me. And we are all pick me. We're all pick me. We are all on a pick me spectrum. You cannot be in patriarchy and not fall into it on some level, right? Even if you don't date men. Now, I literally did not date men for 12 years, right? Not like 5 years, and then and then 5 more years. Like for 12 years, I was completely celibate, didn't mess with them. Like, I mean, I take huge chunks of time of not wanting anything to do with them. But I was still a pick me because I was a cool girl. I was, one of the guys. I was a raft guide, and I wrote an article for Outside Magazine about this. The feminist who, or the raft guide who became a toxically masculine feminist. I can make nastier jokes than any of you. Try me. I can patriarchy worse than all of you. I can toxic masculinity worse than all you pricks. And boy, did I. Because I could hang out with the vampires and not get hurt. And boy, did I learn my lesson the hard way. Woo! I was bullied constantly. But I looked at them as like brothers, and I was friends with some of them. That's what's so funny is like, and one of them has apologized since then, was like fully owned up to all of it, is just, worked on himself for and he had no idea until I wrote that article, just what it felt like, because he didn't know like what all the stories combined, how terrifying they look, like drawing on the back of my calves and like, black permanent mark. Mel loves mad the giant pink. Both cats. I had to use a Brillo pad to get that thing off. Would lock me in the outhouse, run around it, right, with cam straps that we tie boats down, like thousands of pounds down onto our trailer. Wrap that around, and then throw rocks in the pipe so that they would splash, and then white, like blue, nasty, like sewage juice would hit me. They would like throw me in the water and roll me in dirt. So when the clients arrived, I looked disgusting because, I'm a tomboy. I've always been a tomboy. And they like to call me Pigpen because I was ADHD. I'm a mess. Then they would like do it to make it even more of a joke. They were just constantly saying the nastiest jokes, the most demeaning jokes. They're making fun of women's bodies. They said the women coming on, and the girls coming off the boat were had hail damage, cellulite. Some of them, and I worked in this industry for so long, so I worked with multiple different groups of men. And when there are more women on, it was not like this when there was plenty of women. But when you're the only woman, good luck. They will see what they can get away with. And I would fight back sometimes if what are you, feminist? And so I was the vampire, the half vampire in the Lost Boys world, thinking I would never get hurt because, I really wouldn't get hurt. They're just going to, torture me a little bit like I'm like a kid sister to them, but they'll never hurt me. But guess what? When I tore my ACL and I was in the hospital and I couldn't ski, they disappeared. I never heard from them. They didn't do anything. It was literally women who came out of the woodwork to help. When I was in like sketchy situations with other men, the one who actually apologized later on was looking out for me when it came to like dudes. But most like they didn't care. They never protected me from all the other men in the industry. And the thing is that a lot of these guys weren't like that alone. I would be on an overnight camping trips, and when they are not around each other performing masculinity, they were oftentimes very sensitive and sweet and thoughtful and all these other things when they didn't have other men to perform around. And so for me, I never like dated a vampire until I finally ended up with that homosexual who almost unalived me, but that was until I was 36. But I was that chick with the vampire thinking I'm safe here. I'm going to do half of what they are and still can maintain my humanity. And I couldn't. I hated myself more and more every day. The dehumanization, the self-dehumanization, and the dehumanization of others that come with performing this crap makes you feel dead inside. And yet I thought that's how I could feel connected. Part of it was to survive it too, because if all your coworkers are men, you kind of have to do so much to, not, if you want to keep your job. But I really wanted friends. I wanted community. I wanted to be I wanted to be one of the boys. But they were all young, insecure, toxically masculine men performing for each other. And so I performed with them to my own detriment. And this idea, again, you don't have to date men to fall into this mindset. This idea that I can just be around men. I did it when I was traveling. I did it like I was just always around men that no one else would give a chance. But I'm like, no, he won't hurt me. I know how to handle dangerous men. And then I finally dated one, a vampire. And not only did he suck me dry, I became the worst version of myself and he almost took my life, but I got paid. I remember just thinking it was exciting to be with this guy. And I always thought I was one step ahead of him. I always thought, well, no matter what he does, I will survive this man. And I almost didn't. And that's what Sedona was talking about. I almost didn't. You know, Sharon Osbourne survived Ozzy, barely. But she's, you know, not a billionaire, millionaire. She's awful too. I should do a whole video on how awful she is. But you know, she gets some sort of prize. But the rest of us who are not rich and famous, we either die or people are like, great. But surviving a man, a bad boy, a vampire, it's not noble, right? And yet we feel so special if we can make this man turn into a good guy, if we can be the exception. And that's why so many women will date men who cheated on their wives, who left their whole families and think they wouldn't do that to me. I'm going to prove that I'm different. I'm special. The vampire will not go after me because I'm me. I mean, I'm prey technically, but I'm me. God, no wonder women love that genre because at least they're agreeing to date the predator. And that's what Sedona was saying. The prey is consenting. So please, if you're still in this mindset of just wanting, I'm telling you, it runs so deep. Even though I didn't date men for all those years because I just intuitively knew I was going to get screwed. I knew that I was going to become a worse version of myself. And so I wanted to focus on my career and doing fun things and all these other things. I was so afraid. Based on the little experience I had dating, I hated what I saw really quickly. So I just tapped out. And then I try again. And well, oh God, tapped out again. You know, I kept, and then I almost had to die for me to get the message that dating the bad boy, dating the guy who cheated on his girlfriend, dating the homosexual, which is a whole new level of it, dating the guy who's jealous, but it feels good that he's jealous. Feels good. He's going to protect you because he's the one other man. God, the guy who's anger, but you can handle it. You can manage that. Oh God, it's so deep. Anyway, if that's you, please don't date right now. Please don't date right now because you could die from this type of mentality. And it is so normalized that in a video just saying, can we not romanticize Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne's love story because it's terrifying. And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments of women saying love is love. Love is love. They were soulmates. He got better. He got sober. He's not whatever. Like so many women really believe that's a great love story. Oh my God. Like it makes sense. 10 years ago, maybe I probably would have still thought there was like something to it. He, you know, he just like, he told her that she has to die and, you know, strangled her almost to death. And because she had a panic button, which apparently is maybe because of, you know, being famous and not because of him, my mistake in that video. I assumed it was for him, but I guess being, you know, maybe movie stars and famous people have panic buttons. I don't know. But that's the only reason she didn't die is had a panic button. He was going to kill her. So please don't date these vampires. Please don't date these vampires. And I know as somebody who, even if when I wasn't trying to date them, which every once in a while I tried, and I was like, even when I traveled, I liked hanging out. Like I loved feeling when I walked away from a situation where I talked to a creepy old man and survived it, or I was in this situation, the only woman, and I survived. I had so much pride, and it almost gave me this false confidence that nothing would ever happen to me. So boy, was I humbled when I almost died. I thought something in me. There was something in me that was going to save me from vampires because I'd made it so long being around so many dangerous ones, and especially the ones in my family from from being a child. I always knew what it's like to be around a predator, but still care about them. And, did some damage, but at the end of the day, they weren't so bad. It gave my ego a boost to survive vampires, beasts, seemingly unscathed until you're not, until you die. There is no honor in that kind of death. There is that's not love. It's terrifying. And yet, collectively, under patriarchy, women have been conditioned to do this. And even if you are not attracted to men, don't date men, are 4B all the way, it could still be there. It could still be there in your friendships, at work, even with your own dad. Just look for it, because it's so deep. God, every movie is like, it's okay, just give him a chance. He won't do that to you. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. I gotta do a watch party soon. I just did one with The Legend of Billie Jean, which was so fun. But over on my Patreon, we're gonna do another watch party soon. I want to watch one of these bad boy movies. And if you like my content, follow me on Patreon. I talk about my personal life. I don't like talking about it much here. Well, some of it I do, but most of it I do not talk here anymore. And if you like travel content, if you like lives, I interview amazing people. Go check out my Patreon. And thank you, Patreon people. Y'all are what keeps me going with your love and support. And thank y'all for watching. And thank you for being a part of this community and all your comments. I love the comments. I love the stories you share. Hit subscribe, like, all that stuff. Thanks for being here. Medieval Comet song. I went there yesterday, and wow, thanks for the suggestion, Claire. And Medieval Comet song. I went there yesterday, and I'm gonna make a video for Patreon. Look at this girl riding a dragon, people pulling her around a castle. Look at this scary man at the medieval thing, and the ladies on stilts. They weren't cool. I high-fived them. And this guy, I was like, okay, you're not that impressive, but I like your fork and, peasants. I like everyone, and I like the donkeys that the medieval parents saw. Guess what? We saw a child marriage. I'm going to do a whole video about this over on Patreon. A literal child got married to a man. But at least they're accurate, right? Anyway, follow me on Patreon if you want to see more. Et voila!